Do-Rag Wisdom here, and it's a little more than a month since the coup that has put our government into the hands of every James Bond villain you've ever seen, put our government to the hands of every filthy, greedy villain that you've ever watched, also on the movie screen. We put in the scum of the earth, a bucket full of buccaneers who are going to take this country and they're going to destroy it, and keep whatever's left for their rich, stinking selves. I taught movies and media at IS blank 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 for about 30, well, not even 30 years, but I taught of 22 years. I taught for 30 years, but over in this particular school, I was there for over 20-something plus years, and I taught movies and media there, where I tried to have students look at a movie and read it, read the image. And you can do that because movies, there's a language, there's a cinematic language. And of course, I wanted to get the kids interested in, aside from the movie, but get them into the reading skills too, because that's an important thing. When you have the reading skills, and you make the reading skills, you enrich those by bringing in the movies, the media, and try to combine the two so the children, the students will not only be able to watch movies with a different type of mind, with a more analytical mind, but they'll also appreciate reading more. And that's the thing. We have to read, because if we don't read, we're going to become stupid. Like the one that they elected president, the monster. Well, here it is. I've been pretty obsessed with The Strain. That's a TV series. It's been on for 3 years now. It's gonna have its entire 5-year run. It's created by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. It's an excellent vampire apocalypse epic. It goes places where you don't expect. And then the other one is Westworld on HBO. Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, which both of these geniuses have reimagined the classic science fiction film of old, Michael Crichton's invention that predated Jurassic Park. Westworld, I always loved Westworld, and I always felt sorry for the Yul Brynner character, who exacted a little bit of revenge on the human persecutors. Well, now that this country, thanks to Russian hacking and other shady situations, these two films, TV series, whatever you want to call them, I call them films, epic films, because, you know, one long story. And they resonate with me more than ever now. The Strain. This creep, the monster, the vampire, the Strigoi that we put in, the master Strigoi that we put in, that's from The Strain, to be president. One of his picks for the FDA, I forget his name, but he wants to live forever. And he wants to have, he believes that certain people should have the right to live forever. You know what people those are, the rich people. And while he's living forever, this is the FDA guy. You know, the person's going to be involved in dealing with people's drugs and everything else. Serious matters. This son of a bitch, this rich piece of crap, he just wants to live forever. And this reminds me of this character from The Strain named Eldritch Palmer. Now, Eldritch, the first name, excellent first name. You know, Dickens used names to try to describe a character, and Eldritch has something to do with devil and evil, and he's the rich son of a bitch in The Strain who decides he's going to sell out the entire human race to this vampire Nazi. Because it is. That's another story about this show, because they bring the Holocaust into it too. It's fascinating. And this guy, Eldritch Palmer, is so afraid to die. You know, he's been like mostly physically unable, not so physically, you know, in a way it's so sad to see that, but he decides to sell out the entire human race so he could be immortal. So it made me then think, well, you know, here we got it, you know, the Strigoi administration, that's what they call the vampires in The Strain. The Strigoi administration that's coming in so rich people can live forever and the rest of us can die in pain and agony. I mean, this is what people elected, sincere people. Actually, you know, they thought this monster was going to do something. Well, he's already shown. He's going out making speeches. The head Strigoi master vampire is making speeches, you know, to make America great again. Meanwhile, behind everybody's back in Washington, all his boys, his bucket full of pirates are busy at work, undermining everybody. But then there's Westworld. Oh, wow. One of the saddest, most disturbing science fiction. When I say sad, I don't mean this is what science fiction is supposed to be. Science fiction is supposed to make you think. It's compelling. It's supposed to be an allegory about things that are really going on. And this show, Westworld, this TV series, as I'm watching it, I'm feeling profoundly sad. Because these machines, this is what Nolan and Joy tapped into. These machines are more human than the goddamn humans, and it's cruel. These rich bastards go to Westworld to torture, murder, rape, everything you can imagine to helpless synthetic beings. It's like the organics versus the synthetics. All right? It's horrible, horrible. But, you know, that's what's great about this science fiction. Like, you know, the Twilight Zone of old. You know, Rod Serling seeing all the crap that goes on in the world, and here you know, he shows you, you know, an allegory, science fiction, fantasy to show us this. Because to the rich, as in Westworld, in this world, the rest of us are nothing but objects to be used and abused. So what happens? So he's got a Eldridge Palmer in his cabin who wants to live forever, and then he puts in this creep, Putster, whatever his name is, to be in the labor department. He hates labor. He wants to make everything automated. He runs Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, places you wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to expose my stomach to the trash that this creep puts out. And he wants he says, you know, machines don't complain, machines don't come late, machines do what they're told, machines don't want any extra money for overtime, machines don't have any sick days or demands, machines don't have unions. This is what he puts in charge of labor. So I'm saying Westworld and The Strain, and I've been watching The Strain over and over. That's like 3 years worth of The Strain, like obsessively watching it, because now it's like more than ever, we have The Strain now. And with Westworld, I'm going to be watching that. The sadness. We got a guy in labor who thinks that workers are less than human, who shouldn't be paid a human, decent wage, and he wants automation. So that he wishes he could have, like in Westworld, some helpless synthetic being that they could rape, rob, murder, and everything else. To the rich, and that's the end of it, between the Strain and Westworld, it's the rich. The rich want to manipulate all of us, take everything away from us so we have nothing, so that there's just a matter of a rich class and the rest of us nothing. And when you watch The Strain, the Westworld, this is what resonates, this is what comes up to me. They want nothing more to live forever, and while they're working to live forever, they want to treat the working person, the poor, the disabled, as nothings, like machines, objects to be mutilated, destroyed, murdered time and time again. You watch that Westworld, it's like a nightmare. I'm a big admirer of the works of Philip Dick, and boy, Westworld is Dickian. And you know what else? It's reality for us now, folks, because we have them up there ready to do to us in reality, which is being done on that show there. How sad, how frightening. The Strain in Westworld. Watch them and learn. Please be safe.